When I was a young boy, there were many computer games I did not finish, either through a result of my small brain and midget fingers being unable to grasp the enormity of the challenge ahead, or simply because the game itself sucked an ungodly amount of dick. By the time I had reached maturity and blossomed into the young man I am today, there was a pile of uncompleted games gathering dust in the recesses of my bedroom. The first game I remember is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Nintendo. Unless you were living under a rock or maybe not even born yet, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Hero Turtles as they were called here in the UK as ninja is a bit too spicy for us Brits, were an anthropomorphic quartet of turtles who were raised in the sewers of New York by a rat wearing a dressing gown. With a penchant for martial arts and a strong love of pizza, the cartoon revolves around the fearsome fighting team's constant battle with the series antagonist, Shredder. That theme tune, no. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So what about the game then? Well, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a side-scrolling platformer where you move from the left of the screen to the right, destroying anything in your path. You can take control of all 4 turtles, which basically constitutes 4 lives, and each has their own unique weapon. Leonardo has a sword, and is a good all-rounder. Raphael has some forks and Michelangelo has the insole from a shoe, and Donatello is by far the best character with his giant meaty stick, which allows him to penetrate enemies from absolutely fucking miles away. The game layout itself is fairly gamey. You've got your health represented by the red blocks, and your high score down there on the left-hand side. You can also pick up power-ups in the form of projectile weapons. There's boomerangs, a scroll which allows you to shoot hyperbaric shockwaves from your face, and everybody's favourite, hypodermic needles. There's a whole host of enemies to fight in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, from giant frogs, a man on fire, dive-bombing moths. This dude's head who pops off. Ross Geller the Holiday Armadillo.
I'm the Holiday Armadillo!
And this?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
You start off in this top-down overworld, Grand Theft Auto Eat Your Heart Out, before moving into the sewers for the first stage. After fighting your way through a range of enemies, you eventually come to your first boss battle, which is basically Bebop running around like a f***ing lunatic while Rocksteady holds April O'Neil prisoner on a ledge above. Bebop has no weapons but can damage you with the sheer mush of his body. Once you defeat you blaze a trail through an old warehouse before fighting Rocksteady, who at least decided to bring a gun instead of trying to rugby tackle you. You free April, who as thanks gives you her support. Thanks, April. Now before I go any further, I should stress this game is f***ing hard. Really hard. The controls are stiff, the jumps are floaty, the enemies continuously respawn over and over again, and the platform sections are the stuff of f***ing nightmares. Just look at this. I go to jump back, I have to line it up for then just changes direction 3 times in midair. There is one level, however, I do want to talk about. One level so bastardly difficult, it gave me PTSD as a 6-year-old.
Just give us a fucking chance, you son of a bitch! Wait, son of a...
In this level, you have to find and defuse 5 bombs while avoiding electric barriers, spinning death balls, seaweed which electrocutes you, currents that push you into electric barriers, and all within a time limit. I'm not joking when I say this was brutal for a child, especially seeing as there were no saves back then and you only had like 4 lives to complete the game. If you lost any lives during this stage, it meant you had to face the rest of the game severely handicapped. I think I only made it past this level a handful of times as a kid, and playing it again, now, I can see why. Anyway, after defusing all the bombs, you go home and find your house. Burrow? Sewer? Let's go with that. You find your sewer has been ransacked and Shredder has kidnapped Splinter, so it's up to you to save the day. Cue some more GTA action and driving around in the turtle bus as you find rockets to blow up the barricades. Once you've done that, you fight your way through more goons and across rooftops until you find Splinter being held hostage by this guy over here. You penetrate his anus and some gold dude with a jetpack comes, I don't know, so you kill him too and rescue Splinter, who slowly f***ing floats to the ground like the Exorcist. So now you're on an Air Force base with planes and shit flying around you trying to bomb you. Heavy stuff. And you gotta make your way through manholes until you reach number 18. Once you reach number 18, you have to fight this giant metal chicken who shoots laser beam tears out of his eyes and makes this sound when you hit his tonsils. You beat him and end up on a secret base with music which sounds suspiciously like Come Together by the Beatles. You find yourself underground fighting porcupines, spiders, jellyfish? Apparently I have it on good authority that this is supposed to be underneath the Bronx. So eventually you find a door which takes you to the Technodrome, which is a lot smaller than I remember. You slap its eye around a bit while avoiding the foot soldiers. Look at this guy down here. Pathetic! Eventually it blows up and you enter to start the final stage of the marathon. Inside the Technodrome is more of the same. Green boobs shoot milk at you, velociraptors stalk you. You fight an endless amount of goons as you make your way through the endless number of corridors until finally you reach the final showdown with the final boss.
Give you a meal, I'll rub.
But no, Shredder, who turns out to be the easiest boss in the game. You just keep moving and jumping around to avoid him blowing kisses at you. Before you know it, you smashed his back doors in and saved Christmas. Splinter turns back into a man. This guy in a Ushanka thanks you for your help. And the game is over.
Excellent.